Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian Families collection. For today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the newest house into the Sylvanian range. That is the red roof house with the sparkling water. I'm not sure what the English name is going to be yet. That's a kind of translation from the Japanese name. This set was released in September 2025 and was for the 40th anniversary. This set is marketed to be the home of the Biscuit Bears. You can see the father, Lloyd Biscuit, here. If you're familiar with the Biscuit Bear family sets, they came with some accessories such as this blueprint and this tiny model version of the house, which was kind of a hint that we were going to get this big house. There was a lot of speculation that we were going to get this big house, and now here it is. Lloyd's occupation in the Sylvanian village is canonically an architect, and the story is that he's designed and built this house for his family. It's in a bit of a different style than we've seen before. It's got a more Victorian-esque feel, I think. I really like it. It's just a bit different to some of the houses we've seen before, and I'm really interested to see how it looks, not in photos, in real life. Lloyd is going to help us out with measurements and things as well, so we can see kind of how big it is. I'll also take some full measurements of the height, width and depth, as I haven't been able to find it clearly online as to what the size of the actual house is when it's all put together and not in the box. And I'm interested to see how big it actually is. But let's start as always with a quick look around the box, and then we'll get it open, look at all the pieces. I believe it comes with some assembly required, so we'll do that and then have a look at the house. So first up, on the front of the box here, you can obviously see a lovely big picture of what the house looks from the front facade angle. There's then also a cutout window here where you can see the chandelier piece. This is interesting in that it doesn't use batteries. It uses kind of a technology where the light can shine through it and illuminate it. So we'll see how that works when I get it out. Also some of the play features. There's this little river and boat with this drawbridge that opens. And also this reversible stair piece where it can be either a flight of stairs or a very, very steep and dangerous looking slide. That looks very steep, but again, we'll see that when we open it up. On this side of the box, I'm going to have to pull the camera back. We can see all the pieces the set comes with, as well as the front and back views. You can see it comes in several different pieces, so we will need to put it together. You can see them all broken out here, some railings and things as well. But that's the side view. On the back, we've got some nice setup images. So this nice big image of showing it the other way around also shows you these light pieces. 2 floors, and then the turrets aren't particularly functional. Shows you some more of the light features and where they feature on the house. This little trapdoor that can open up and has a fishing rod or fishing through to the river below. The danger slide. The little boat that we saw on the front, which comes with that fishing rod. And then a nice setup image of the lower floor with some furniture pieces that I'll show you at the end. We've also got the usual warnings all along the bottom, and then just here, if it's big enough, you'll be able to see the 25 marker that this came out in 2025. On this side of the box, we've got a little bit of story about the house. I'll Google Translate and read that to you in a second. We've then got this nice front view with a wider shot, and then sets that accompany it. So here's the Biscuit Bear family, the siblings, the twins, the little tiny newborn babies, and this furniture set that I mentioned, all marketed to go with this house. You can also see the seal mother's exciting boat there, the hamster family, and some other contemporary sets of the time. Also this car that's marketed to go with the Biscuit Bear family. Then if we have a look at the top, there's this nice sunset picture from the top of the turret. I really like the lighting that they've used on that, or the effect that they've used to give it that sunset effect. That image of the other side of the house again. And then here is a little diagram of how the chandelier works with the light shining through it. And you can see the top of the chandelier there, but we'll see that a bit more clearly when I get it out. And then last but not least, absolutely nothing on the bottom of the box. So I've Google translated that little story, and roughly translated, it talks about the Biscuit Bear father, Lloyd, being an architect who's designed many houses, and he's decided that he wants to build his own. But what kind of house should he build and where should he build it? After much deliberation, Lloyd has built his house on the banks of a babbling brook. It has a stylish arched entrance and a pointed roof and plenty of greenery with a stream running through the front garden. It has a sparkling chandelier and it's the ultimate dream come true for the whole Biscuit Bear family, and they've now moved in. So I'm going to go ahead and open it off camera just because it's so big, and then I'll get all the pieces out and show you what that looks like out of the box. So this is all the pieces straight out of the box, and most importantly I think are going to be these instructions. There's also a cute little storybook here too. So it's obviously all in Japanese, but there's some cute images in here of the Biscuit Bear family designing the home, I think, and then it being built and them having moved in, having all their friends over. And then we have a massive, I think, A3 sheet of instructions to explain how to put everything together. It's just one-sided, but looks like there's a little bit of a construction required. So let's take a look what comes in each of the bags, and then I'm going to attempt to construct this. So we have a side piece with some doors, some what I'm presuming are inner walls, just judging by the paneling on here. Here these look like the tippy tops of the turrets, and some light pieces maybe, or some finals to go on the top. And I think this bit is to go above the chandelier. We have the roof piece with one of the turrets inbuilt, and again it's got that space for the chandelier mechanism on there. We have the water piece for the front. This comes as like one solid piece, and then it's got the drawbridge on it as well. The water moulding on this looks really nice. Got another big wall piece, again with some doors on it and some pretty windows. Here is that reversible stair slide piece. Here's the chandelier out of the box. It looks really pretty, but we'll take a closer look with it actually out of the cardboard. Another set of stairs. Some pretty gold railings. I'm guessing these are maybe balcony pieces, but we'll find out. Body of one of the turrets. The little dock piece, which I think goes here. Some lights or lanterns. Some more of those pretty gold ornate railings. Some bushes, which I think go out the front. The little boat piece that we saw going along the river, and the little fishing rod is in there too. And some more railings. And then this is the kind of main body of the house. So let's go ahead and build this thing. Ta-da! There we have it, the finished house. The instructions were pretty easy to follow, even though they're in Japanese. Google Translate worked really well on them if you needed it, but they're also quite visual, so it wasn't too difficult to kind of discern what parts go where. Everything also fitted together pretty easily, so it wasn't too much of a challenge. The finished house looks absolutely spectacular. It is beautiful. And I'll just pop Lloyd on one of the balconies so you can get an idea of the scale. It is quite a big house. I've taken some measurements. So height-wise, up to this tallest turret final is about 42 centimetres. The depth, including this grass piece at the front, is about 36 centimetres. And the width to the widest parts of this grass piece, because it's slightly wider at some points than the back of the building, is around about 51 centimetres. So it's a pretty big building, but not as big as some of the older ones in the range, like the house on the hill or Old Oak Hollow. Not quite that big, but still definitely more sizable than some of the other red roof houses. Let's scoot in for a closer look at some of the details. So if we start with the very front, which is this water piece, you can see it's pretty nicely moulded. There's even little fish. I don't know whether you can see that so well on camera, but in the water there's little fish swimming about. Well, not swimming, but moulded in there like they're swimming. This one has a little ripple on the water, and there's some detailing underneath it as well to look kind of like the riverbed, which is really cute. These bushes look fine from the front, but they're very flat. It's a little bit disappointing that these are flat pieces and not a fully moulded round piece, but they look fine just straight from the front. There's then this drawbridge piece which you can open for the little boat to pass through, and then close again using this little gold lever. I like the cobblestone moulding on this, it's very pretty. And got this lovely entryway with these columns and pillars and this nice flower detailing on here. Front door, which opens and closes. There's also two nice big windows here, again with some nice detailing on them. I like that this is a different colour as well. Kind of a brick patio part. Coming this way we can see a couple of windows, some brickwork, some wood slats. It would have been nice if these windows were painted as well, but I think the design of it is nice. And then on this side we have this brick kind of turret piece that looks almost castle-y. It's got this dock on it with these two stands. These slot into holes on this grass piece. It doesn't attach anywhere apart from these, so it's really easy to pull it away and push it back in. This has doors that can open, or railings I guess, rather than doors. The railings are pretty. They're a nice gold colour and they're nicely detailed. This also has opening doors, and then in there you can see the little trap door that can be used for fishing, but I think it's slightly easier to get at it than the other side, so we'll look at it when we're around the back. This nice kind of arch over it, and these two little lanterns on either side which give a nice bit of detail. Coming round to this side, it's quite plain. The brick carries round and there's kind of a shuttered window over there. On this side it's the same, except it carries on this same cream colour, and there's a shuttered window on that side. Coming up to the first floor you can see there's a doorway there, no doors on that, just an archway, and then a balcony. If we pop Lloyd over there a minute, excuse me, there's a little balcony here with some nice railings, and then these doors do open. These are again that nice greeny colour, and they've got a nice amount of detail on them. There's a couple of windows here, again with that flower detailing which looks similar to below. Another balcony with an archway door, no doors on this one. Some nice detailing on it though, and then here is the top of the turret piece. It has this kind of piece here which lets light into the room below, but it's also going to be a bit difficult for the Sylvanians to stand on, so I might pop something over that just to make it a bit easier. We've then got a door on an angle, which you can open and close. Steps up to this little turret here. Each of the turret has these little gold finals on. Second turret there, and there's kind of a roof space with railings on, and then it has this piece here, which is for the chandelier, so you can open to let the light through or close it to not have the light showing through. The roof is this nice red colour with this brick patterning. There's also some little rungs up here to get up onto the roof from over behind this turret. We then also have a pretty big turret here. And then you can see around the side where I just showed you. So overall, I think it's got a pretty nice level of detail. Perhaps not as much detail as we see on some of the older houses, but that's kind of a running theme anyway. But I think it's got such a pretty facade. Now let me turn it around and we can have a look inside. So here is the back of the building. You can see the plastic is quite thin, so you can see the windows that are moulded in. There's no windows moulded this side though. See that there? There is this nice panelling moulded in all the way around though. The floor in here I like, it's kind of like a parquet. Very pretty, and this room is pretty deep. You can see from my arm there. Got quite a lot of space here to decorate. Here's the other side of the entryway. It's got this kind of light door mat piece almost moulded in like that. Some flowers here on the walls. Then there's this dividing wall, and you can have this in one or two places. I've popped it here, but you can also put it here if you would like to have this as kind of a more sectioned off room. But I preferred it over here when I had a look at both ways. Here is the staircase which goes up to the first floor. This is pretty easily removed. And to be honest, to access this room, you would probably need to have it removed. We've got panelling here again. Again, you can see that window there. It does move, so I'm not quite sure how it works. But that bit does move, and I think it probably does pop down or out like a door. Just haven't quite worked it. Oh, there we go. So you could have a door there to better access this room as well if you wanted to have the staircase in and kind of access it from the side. It's just a little bit tricky to open and close, but that's quite cool to get more in there. There's the other side of that wall piece, and then here is that little trapdoor I was showing you. You can open that up and see the river underneath, so you could do some fishing from inside the house if you should wish. Little steps up, and that floor carries on round here. The stair piece obviously can be stairs, but it can also be the danger slide, which is just as steep in real life as it looks on the box. So let me just pop it in and I will show you. It's a little bit tricky to do this one-handed. There we go. It is a very sheer drop, so I probably won't be using that as a slide. I think I'll be keeping it as a staircase. It just kind of makes more sense, I think. But it's nice that it slots in enough that it's not going to immediately fall over. Going up to the first floor, so there's immediately a bit less room up here. It's narrower than the second floor. If I give you the top-down view, this is directly top-down, so there's a good finger width of space down there that the first floor is narrower. This is all one big room up here, though there is a kind of step divide. The flooring isn't exactly the same, so that's nice. It is a different floor pattern up here. That's the door out onto the turret. That's the one we saw with the little balcony where it's just an archway, the back of those windows. Then we have a step down here and a different change of flooring again. So I do like that there's lots of different flooring moulds. And then this one as well. It's again a different flooring mould, and that is out onto that side balcony. I am slightly confused as to why some of the doors have doors and some of them are just archways. It would have been nice if there was doors in all of the doors, but I guess you could pretend that these are kind of glass doors, but it is slightly annoying. Same for these windows. I would have liked them to all have windows in like this, but a minor complaint really. Or even if they look like these ones and they just had the moulded kind of cross in them, but a minor complaint. And then here's the chandelier, and then here's the top of that roof piece up here, and then here's the mechanism to let the light into it and to not. So let's have a look at that. Just with the natural daylight, you can see it really does look like it turns on, and I think that is really cool. It eliminates the need for batteries. It doesn't give much actual light, but I think it's a pretty cool effect nonetheless. And I wasn't expecting it to really work quite that well, so do think that's cool. If we pop Lloyd in here, you can again get a sense of the scale. So here he is at the front door, walking in. This bit is especially big in the doorways, windows. So yeah, there's a good amount of room to decorate in this house. The back view is definitely not as pretty as the front view, but I think it will look a little bit more realistic and lifelike once it's got some furniture in there. So just bringing you round to that front view again, and I think that brings us to the end of the video. I do have this furniture set which I'm intending to put in this house, but I'd kind of like to do a video decorating the whole thing, and just that furniture set won't be enough to fill up the whole house. So I think I'll do a separate video of decorating the interior and pull together some other furniture pieces to put in there as well, which I'm gonna want a little bit of time to think about how I'm gonna decorate that. But I hope you found this video useful, taking a closer look at this house. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Is this a house you're planning to get for your collection? Is it a bit big, or are there things about it you don't like? I'm really interested to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.